On September 20th, Olivia Plath decided to use her personal TikTok to share a story that the Welcome to Plathville show didn't share the full details of. This story was originally shared during the season 4 finale of Welcome to Plathville, and the drama of this story has carried on into current day where season 5 is premiering. Olivia wanted to post this TikTok to clear up any confusion, and she posted it after episode 3 of season 5. The reason I want to bring this up now is that the event actually occurred between the filming of season 1 and 2. And I think it really explains the shift of Ethan's view of his parents throughout season 2. So here's the story that Olivia told in season 4.
His mom was using his credit card and buying things for herself and not paying him back. I changed his password for him, and she's like, oh, can you send it to me? And I was like, no, that's his password now. And that was the first time she ever blew up and yelled at me and slammed the door on me.
Olivia's TikTok was about 10 minutes long, so I've spliced out some of the parts. I have also done my best to keep in the details that I thought were important, and I didn't change the order of anything in how she decided to share it within the TikTok. If you want to hear the full story from Olivia, you can go over to her TikTok page and watch the video there. So here's what she shared.
When Ethan was about 16, 17, his mom signed him up to be on her downline for an MLM company she was a part of called Young Living.
There is just something about Christian moms and their obsession with MLMs. They find their way into Young Living constantly.
He was not allowed to buy like toothpaste, deodorant, shaving cream from a drugstore or grocery store. He had to purchase these organic products from this specific company. Because he wasn't allowed on a computer, his mom set his account on auto ship. So every single month he got a box of all his hygiene products, and his credit card was saved on file so that it could just be charged and he would get it each month. She made a business arrangement with her son that whatever the order was that she placed, she would pay him back half of that.
I can understand wanting to teach your children responsibility, and especially within the financial realm, once they turn 16 and they start working, and you just want to teach them how to grow up and be an adult and take care of themselves. However, paying for expensive hygiene products, it's just ridiculous to me. And on top of that, this is also an MLM, so Kim would be making money off of this, and then paying 50%, which you would assume if she would make this deal with him that she's making more than that 50%. And I'm just very confused what Ethan's getting out of it. Anyways, Olivia goes on to explain that Ethan was no longer interested in continuing this business arrangement once they got married.
I called his mom. She gave me the password. I logged in and I saw all of these really large purchases on his account each month for things like makeup and protein drinks. And I knew that he wasn't keeping any of that product. I knew he wasn't using it. So I asked him about it, and he explained this business deal, to which I said, so you're paying like anywhere from $100 to $300 a month that you're not being reimbursed for, and you're not keeping the product either, because that seems like stealing.
I'm not sure how Kim could even argue that it's not stealing. According to the Plath siblings, Micah, Mariah, Lydia, and Isaac, Ethan earned a good bit of money. That's all the detail that they provided, and Olivia's story doesn't really speak to what Ethan earned, so I'm not sure what was going on in that realm. From my basic understanding of an MLM, all distributors pay a portion of their earnings to the company as well as those upline to them. So you have that pyramid scheme, and you have, someone at the top and then multiple below them, and it just keeps growing. So Ethan is below Kim, meaning that she's making money off of everything that he's earning. So she's earned at least something. I also don't know if Ethan had a downline on his end, if he was a part of the pyramid or if he was at the bottom of it. And I don't know if he was distributing to retail customers so that he can make money. But based off the story, it doesn't sound like he was. So I really don't think he was making any money off of this. And I'm a little confused by that line from all of the siblings' post. Anyways, let's get back to Olivia's story.
So I changed the password in his account so his mom couldn't get on and make her orders. When I was on his account, before I changed the password, I saw that all of those free points that he'd accumulated for the large product, like the large orders she made, he never got to use them. She redeemed them all for free products.
And this is where things got more confrontational.
Didn't give her the password that day in the house when they were trying to get me to do that. I also explained that this was explicitly against Young Living guidelines. You're not allowed to have financial investment in more than one account. And that I could report her for that. To which point she blew up in my face, yelled at me, stormed out of the house.
Season 1 ended in December of 2019. So looking at the Young Living U.S. policies and procedures that were effective on January 1st of 2020, Section 3.2 states, if Young Living finds that you have an unpermitted interest in multiple accounts, it will terminate the latter created account. To what might be Kim's benefit, it also states that if you are a minor who is at least 16 years of age or older, you must submit a hard copy member agreement signed by you and by your parent or legal guardian. Your parent or legal guardian is required to supervise your activities. If your parent or legal guardian is a member, then your parent or legal guardian must be your sponsor. That being said, I don't think that just because he's 16, this is stating that you can spend his money on products that he also didn't agree to buy and have yourself financially benefit off of him. Kim was also technically paying 50%, so she was financially contributing to 2 accounts. But please, if you better understand MLMs, because I am not very familiar, I get the baseline concept, please leave more information in the comments to let me know what you think is really going on in this situation. Do you think that Kim was just solely making money? Do you think that she is in the wrong? It sounds like she was. And finally, do you think Ethan was making money off of this?
Ethan and I sat down, we went over his account, and we added up all the orders that he had paid for on his credit card that he had never been reimbursed for. Ethan and I sent this invoice to his mom and gave her 45 days to pay. I think it came out to like $990 some.
That sounds completely fair to me. I mean, this is Ethan's money that he didn't know was being spent in that way, and his wife is helping him get that money back. They even created a formal invoice that lists each item, the item that it was, the cost of it, and just like, I believe, screenshots off of the account to prove that Kim was spending his money without his knowledge. As I mentioned, the events in this story occurred between the taping of season 1 and season 2. But why does that matter?
Ethan's mom was, throwing a fit, saying that she couldn't move on and film season 2 until I backed down and stopped suing her. So I got a call from some executives saying, Olivia, we have always been able to count on you being the bigger person, and we really need you to do that now. We really need you to just let this go so we can all move on. We can all be filming again. It's fine. I was not about to be bullied into that, so I said, absolutely not. Stood my ground. And after 44 days of this talk around town and everyone in the town being privy to the fact that I was suing them, Ethan's parents called him up and said, we'll pay you, but you have to come to our house to get your check. And when Ethan showed up, his dad handed him the check for the full amount and looked him dead in the eye and said, have a nice life living in bondage. That's the story.
I absolutely love that Olivia only used Ethan's name throughout this story. She avoided saying Mariah, Kim, Barry, and all of the other kids that are slightly mentioned throughout the story. There is just so much power in that to me. I love that she stood her ground throughout this story. Based off of the Discord I've been seeing online, it seems like a fair amount of people believe that this situation was not for Olivia to ever be involved in. However, I completely disagree. This might not be true for all relationships, but my husband's money is my money. And when we are looking at our finances, and if I were to find hundreds of dollars on products that neither of us are utilizing, I would say something too. I also don't personally care if Olivia was ever aggressive, mean, rude, or brutal in this moment. Is it acceptable? Not exactly, but I mean, hundreds of dollars being spent, I would also get very defensive and very angry for my husband, because no child deserves to be treated that way by their mother. Let's also remember, according to Olivia, there are hundreds of stories similar to this on why she decided to cut off ties with Kim. This wasn't a one-time Kim flipped out on her and they just had this disagreement. This is a constant relationship issue that we as viewers of Welcome to Plathville have seen on the television show. So why haven't we heard Kim's side to this story? Well, here is a clip from season 5, episode 1.
As far as the credit card story goes, I know my truth. Olivia has her truth, but I'm not going to fight that battle. I'm tired of constantly defending myself against things that Ethan and Olivia have said about me.
Olivia wraps up her TikTok by explaining why she believes the Plath family haven't gone into any detail with this story.
I also printed out and included a copy of Young Living's guidelines, which clearly states that it is against company policy for one individual to have financial investment in more than one account. Which is why this story has never been brought up as something that I did against someone, because Ethan's parents knew that they couldn't win, right? That's why she blew up and yelled at me in the house that day and stomped out. Which is also why they have no comment on what happened.
Again, I have no idea if Ethan was making any money in this scenario, and I'm not really sure how much that detail would even change my perspective on it. It just seems like Kim was using her son to boost herself up, and I personally find that absolutely appalling. So what do you think? Do you agree with the side of the internet that believes Olivia is manipulative and narcissistic, who has just enjoyed pitting the Plath family against one another? Or do you think that maybe she's imperfect but caring and has been doing her best to stand up for herself and this new family that she's building with Ethan, coming from an incredibly toxic family? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed diving into some of this drama with me today, I would greatly appreciate you giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing, turning on notifications, and interacting in the comment section below. Also, feel free to watch any of my past videos and be on the lookout for more Welcome to Plathville videos. Okay, bye!